Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Purposely. Today, I am welcoming a fellow Tasmanian, Theo Kapodistrias. I think I've said it right. Welcome.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Awesome to be here.
Amazing. So, Theo and I were introduced by a friend of mine who lives in Launceston. He said, "You have to meet this guy. I think you'll really like him." And we had a really good conversation on the phone, and I said, "I need to get you on my podcast to share your cool story and what you're doing at the moment." But I guess if I met you at a dinner party and I said, "G'day, Theo, what do you do?" How would you explain to people what you do? Because you've got like a day job, but then you've got kind of this side thing that you're doing.
I do all the things, Emily. If I was introduced to you at a party, I'd say, "Hey, so I'm a lawyer. I am the General Counsel of a cybersecurity software company, and that is heaps of fun. And I'm all by myself in that endeavor. I am the sole lawyer for a global company, which is a lot of fun, based in Hobart, which is even more amazing. But I'm also a keynote speaker, trainer, and advisor. So because I don't like to put myself in a little box, I love just doing all the things. And I don't think I need to be limited to one particular profession. And I think that is something very much unique to the millennial generation who just love doing all the things. So I am a keynote speaker, trainer, and advisor. So I speak at conferences and events. I do corporate training for organizations and companies, and I do one-on-one advisor work, and that's something I've recently launched just to help people on an individual basis.
I love it. So what kinds of things do you speak about? Like what's your thing?
I guess for my little side hustle, the entire purpose behind it is to help individuals to communicate, to simplify their language, to amplify their message, and allow them to demonstrate their value. Ultimately, I want to help people be seen, be heard, and to make an impact. So that's kind of my why and my purpose.
Love it. That is so cool. So you're talking my language because I'm into all those things, and my other business, HR Gurus, our whole philosophy is to make HR simple, because people like the law, they quite often think that it's really scary and complicated, but it's not. You can always simplify things, I believe, and the beauty is in the simplicity. If you can break it down. Oh my God, my dogs are fighting outside of the window. I hope you can't hear them.
No, couldn't hear.
They do this every time I do a podcast. They decide to join me and make some noise. So let's go back a step though and hear about your story. Why did you decide to study law and be a lawyer? Like let's go back to the very, very beginning. Let's hear about your childhood. Like, have you always lived in the wonderful Tasmania? I want to hear the whole shebang.
Yeah, well, let's hear the story of Theo. So I've always grown up in Hobart, and I love Tasmania, and it's somewhere where I just feel really deeply connected. It's just part of who I am, and I guess part of my personal brand is to bring in Tasmania as part of me in what I do, because I just think it's important, and not many other people do that. But if we're looking at, I guess, my childhood and where I kick off, so grew up in a little suburb in Hobart called Lena Valley. My family did and still does run a corner store there, and I was pretty much the little kid behind the counter grabbing chippies and having ice cream, and yeah, it was really interesting because I kind of grew up there and behind the counter. So like people who still pop in today remember me like when I was born and stuff like that, which is so funny. It's just amazing.
I love it.
Yeah, seeing the community as well and being part of that community is pretty amazing, kind of cool. So that's always a bit of fun. And then did all my schooling in Lena Valley, Newtown area as well. And it was probably in grade 10 when I thought, I need to figure out what I want to do with my life. And it's really quite a tricky thing because for me, I didn't want to work in the corner store that's not, it didn't align to, you know, what I wanted to do in the world. Like, you know, it's been an amazing business for my family to do their thing and to, you know, generate an income, because it was my grandparents' business originally, and now my parents own it. And I think, you know, that's been really fantastic, and it's given me a lot of skills in, you know, business and just work ethic, and what it take, like just grit and resilience, and, you know, dealing with all those important life skills, which is so critical, and, you know, stuff that I've taken with me and just, you know, take with me every day. But yeah, I was in grade 10 when I thought, you know, how do I combine the things that I like? Like, how do I combine all of my interests? And things I like include problem solving. I love just, you know, figuring out an issue and getting to the nitty-gritty and coming to a solution at the end. I love working with people. I love talking to people. I love, you know, working with them. That's really important to me. And then communication, speaking, writing, love that too. I was a huge drama nerd. That was my thing at school. So grade 10, I won the drama prize at school. I studied drama in grade 11. I did theatre performance in grade 12. So for me, that performance aspect is really important. It's kind of why I got into the keynote speaking aspect, I guess. But for law, I thought, you know, I could actually combine all of these things and mesh it into a career, and it kind of made sense. So then when I went into, I guess, grade 11 and 12 at Guildford Young College, that to me seemed like a really appropriate thing to, you know, do all the classes that would align to me getting into law school at the University of Tasmania. And yeah, then I kicked off studying there. And not long after that, after I graduated from a Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Law and a Graduate Diploma of Legal Practice, because, you know, you got to do all the things, and was admitted to the Supreme Court of Tasmania in 2014, I kicked off my legal career as a lawyer for the University of Tasmania. So I didn't leave, which was a bit crazy. So yeah, it started as a student, then continued there as an employee. That was a lot of fun. It was a very unique opportunity for me.
Sorry, can you just hang on one sec? I'm going to try and get rid of these dogs because they're being very... Get out! Oh my God, they're so annoying. I've got a puppy and she just torments the other dog constantly. Raven, no, get out. I'm sorry, the editor's going to have to cut this bit out for the live people. Get out. Go away. Stop it. Naughty. Oh my God. Sorry. Hopefully they will listen. They probably won't, but anyway. So you never left the University of Tasmania. You ended up working there as a lawyer.
I did. So I ended up just becoming part of the team, which was pretty cool. Very interesting and unique experience for me, to kick off a career in what is an older environment. So, and I don't say that in a mean way.
Very diplomatic way of saying that.
And you know, the stats were there. The annual report, I think the last one I looked at when I was an employee there, said that, you know, the average age of employees was, you know, the age of 47. And I started my career as a 23-year-old. And that's pretty tricky to throw yourself into an environment where you need people to listen to you. You need people to listen to your advice because you're helping them to get something done. And if you're 23 and they're like in their 50s, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to get noticed and recognized, because people, you know, might not trust you. They might not think, oh, you know, you're the one I've been given. Like, I feel like I've been, you know, given the bottom of the pile.
It's really interesting challenge that millennials face in the workforce is that quite often they are either managing people that are older than them, and so they're one of the first generations to have to do that en masse. Like, that used to be kind of something that was a unique thing that would happen, but now a lot of millennial leaders are managing people that are older than them. But then also, I hear quite often people who work in corporate and traditional kind of industry find it hard to be heard exactly what you are talking about. So for people who are listening, what's your advice to overcome that? What did you do?
So for me, I believed that it was really, really key to refine my communication. So this is kind of like the entire purpose behind what I speak about in my side business. And that is, if you can improve how you communicate and communicate in a way that people understand, they feel like they've been heard, and you communicate in a language which resonates with them, you can help build trust. Once you have that trust, you can then get, the attention you deserve, and you can actually be heard. And I think that's something that's really tough that people don't often get. I think initially, when you kick off in a corporate career, you haven't developed those sort of practical skills to communicate and work with people in a way which is what they're used to or what is appropriate for that environment. As a graduate, you're still in that sort of educational mindset of, oh well, I need to write really comprehensive things. I need to, this needs to be like referenced, and I need to research this to the eyeballs, or otherwise no one's going to trust me because someone will look at it and think I don't know what I'm talking about. But someone who is coming to you for the help, they just want an answer. Yes, no, can I do this? Does this make sense? Am I going to get screwed over if I don't get, if I don't do this or that? So you have to answer the question. Just knowing how to present information or communicate that information is so important. One of my keynotes is called Simplify and Amplify, Crafting a Message That Matters. And I talk about a lot of this stuff in that because I think people do struggle to really compile a message that is able to be heard by other people, that will allow them to be recognized for what they're really worth and the value that they're trying to contribute. I find it really interesting that, often in workplaces, this stuff isn't taught. You just have to figure it out. You just have to be there, and, after a couple of years, maybe you'll get somewhere. But I think with millennials, not necessarily only millennials, but, maybe the next generation as well, if they're not finding that purpose in their environment, they're not, feeling like they're contributing to that overall organizational goal, they're going to leave. I think that's, I think indicates that. And if you're not being heard and you don't feel like anyone's listening to what you're saying, of course you're going to go. Like, why would you want to work in that sort of environment? So I think these are the skills that we need to hone in on this current generation of future leaders and current leaders, because they need, I guess, that ability to really do their best, to be recognized. So it's my driver, it's my passion. It's very exciting.
I love it. I love it. Have you got any stories of when you've overcome like a challenging relationship through using those strategies around keeping it simple and being really direct and giving people an outcome? Because I think that people learn through storytelling because it makes it real. So have you got like an example that you can share with us around that?
Yeah. So it was kind of the early days in my job. I've had this quite a big meeting in like a big boardroom, like massive. All these senior executives were there. I was the only person from the legal team. So I popped in and sat down, and I got looked at like, who's this guy? I'm like, yeah, it's here to help with some legal stuff, trying to keep it casual and cool. And then, an issue was raised, and there was a whole discussion around it. And then I popped in to cite the legislation. Oh, the legislation indicates that, this, that, the other. I got the collective groan when I spoke. Like, I had a heap of people go, oh, here we go. Here we go. And I thought, all right, okay, that's not working. What do I have to do? So I kind of had to just think on my feet and let the conversation roll. And then I interjected again and said, the best thing for us to do is this, this, and this. These are our options. And I think we can work together to make this an outcome that will be appropriate for what you want to do and what you want to do, because there's a whole discussion happening. That's when I started getting people's attention, because they realized that I had listened to what they were saying, but I could present that information in a way that was really easy for them to understand and wasn't boring for them. It didn't go into that, that technical legal jargon that no one cares about, except other lawyers. But we don't need to talk to each other about this. Our entire job is to talk to other people and make law accessible to them. So being able to, I guess, present that information in a way that could be digestible and used in a really practical, simple format gave me a really good outcome. And then it also helped me build my brand and reputation in that employment environment, which is really great. And yeah, I had a really good 5 and nearly 6 years at the University of Tasmania, but then moved on to bigger things. So
I love that though, that what it sounds like what you did there was you showed them a way that they could get the outcome that they want. Because when people are asking for advice, they don't want you to regurgitate all the reasons why they can't do what they want to do, right? And this is what we find in our line of work, working in HR consulting. And that's what a lot of lawyers and a lot of HR consultants do, is they tell you all the risks, all the reasons why you shouldn't do that, but they don't actually use their problem-solving brain and say, hey, look, this is the way that we can get the outcome that you want, and here are a couple of options. Because at the end of the day, people want autonomy, they want choice, right? They want to be able to decide how they take action. No one likes being told what to do. And I think that sometimes advisors forget that their job is to give advice. It's not to tell people, hey, you should do this or you can't do this. So I think that the example you gave there is really good. And I think that if anyone's working in a role where they are giving people advice, that would be my number one tip. Listen, find out what they want, and then give them options, because at the end of the day, it's their choice on what they do, not yours.
Absolutely, because advice is advice. People take it or leave it. It's ultimately what they do with it. So, yeah.
Correct. Yeah, and no one wants to be told what to do by a young upstart in their business, especially if they're older than you. I feel like really good consultancy is actually doing that, consulting with people, not telling. Well, I love that. That's a great example. So you worked at the University of Tasmania for 6 years, and then did you then move to this company that you're working for now?
I did. So it was during COVID. It was pretty funny. I was featured on another podcast. It was my first podcast. A friend of mine called Melissa. She started up a podcast for lawyers, in-house lawyers. I was featured on episode 1. Yeah. Woohoo! Launch episode. And then someone who was in Tasmania heard the podcast, and she said, hey, I'd really love to meet you. Seem really cool. So we had a coffee. She said, yeah, if you're looking for other opportunities, there are all these amazing tech companies in Hobart. You should check them out. And I thought, really?
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? She reeled off a few, and one of them caught my eye because I'd heard of it before. UpGuard. I thought, who are these guys? And I thought, oh no, I've spoken to someone from there before. Actually, I was meant to meet with someone from there. They wanted to meet me for a coffee. Ended up getting cancelled. So I thought, you know what? Why don't I just send them an email? What's the worst thing that can happen? It gets ignored. It deleted. Whatever. What have I lost at the end of the day? Nothing. Send an email to say, hey, look, you guys seem pretty cool. I'm pretty interested in what you're doing and, the work that you do. In case you're looking for legal, governance, risk, compliance, assistance, let me know. And then a couple of days later, I got a reply back saying, we'd love to have a chat. And then after a 2-week recruitment process with, several interviews and an assignment, I got a job offer. And then here I am now, 8 or 9 months later, just having a really great time establishing what the legal department looks like, running the governance risk compliance functions as well, and just really enjoying this change of pace and different environment. It's been really, really fun.
I love it. I love that you just put yourself out there. It's a really good message for people. You got to put yourself out there, man. If you want something, you've got to ask for it. There is no harm in asking, and then you will be rewarded. So what's it like working for a tech company coming from a university, which can be quite like bureaucratic, very slow paced, shall we say, risk averse? Like, how did you adapt to this new environment? Like, was it hard?
I was pretty fortunate that, I had a lot of people to support me in, and still do. I guess in the initial stage, I had a lot of people to support me to say, this is how we do things. This is the culture. This is how decision making works, and this is where you fit in. So I got to just be myself, which is really nice. Didn't have to, put on a persona or try and follow like these lines of formality. I got to just get in there and work with people and demonstrate, hey, this is what I do. This is like legal advice is, and this is how we can work together. So I got to just get in there pretty early on and provide guidance and assistance and be really useful from like day one, which is incredible. I really love the ability to get in there and find my feet really fast. Like, I actually felt so comfortable with this place within the first couple of weeks. And nothing to do with like my old job, but I didn't feel comfortable there for at least a year.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just a bit uncomfortable. And the change of pace has been pretty crazy. Like, decision making here, like, it's robust because it's a process, but it's fast.
Yeah.
I can to someone and say, what's the proposal? X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. This is what I'm thinking. Risks, benefits. Awesome. Sounds good. Go do it. Love that.
I love that. And are they okay with you having a side hustle? And do they know that you do other things on the side?
Yeah. That's all disclosed, and there's no conflict there. And because we're in a very flexible environment, which has been really positive for me. So, I get to work all sorts of hours I want, which work for me. If I'm taking time out of my day to do something else, then I'll make it up that same day in the evening, for example. It's really just about getting the tasks done. It isn't about sitting in a seat and filling that time. It is about doing the work. It's outcome focused. It's being accessible as well. So, because the company's global, I've got people in the US who will be messaging at all hours, and I'm always happy to reply because I'm generally online a lot. And I think the ability for me to be able to take my laptop with me and work somewhere and do stuff and not be necessarily locked to my desk is so awesome. And I think that's the flexibility that is really, really important. And it's something this company has had before COVID because, remote working wasn't foreign to them. It was just part of the culture. And hopefully I think, things develop in the rest of the world and everyone else is able to do the same sort of thing.
Yeah, I definitely think it's the way of the world. I mean, I found out during COVID, my business, we worked from home for 7 months, and then we were like, why do we not just do this moving forward? Got rid of our office that was costing us nearly $50,000 a year, and I moved to Tasmania, and the business is doing great because you definitely can run a business from home, and you're right. It's about outcomes. It's not about being online or being available or being in an office from 9 to 5. That shit is dead, man. And businesses need to cotton on, especially if they've got young people, that what people want is workplace flexibility now, and not pretend workplace flexibility, which is what we had in the past.
Yeah.
It's like real flexibility for people to be able to work when they want, how they want, where they want. So I'm going to ask you now about an amazing initiative that you've taken on, and you have purchased a license to run a TEDx, the first one since 2014. 2014?
2014.
In Tasmania. Like, it's so exciting. Why the heck did you decide to do that? It's a pretty bold move, man.
Look, Emily, I am so excited for TEDx Hobart. So, a few reasons. One, I just thought, what an amazing way to showcase the awesome stuff that's happening in Hobart and Tasmania. What a format to provide people with the opportunity to share the amazing things that are happening in my home. Yeah. We don't get that opportunity often. I think there are a lot of people doing amazing things, but they don't get the stage to do it. So if I can provide a stage for people to get the opportunity to put their brilliant idea out there, to share their story, to share some of the important work that they've done, that is awesome. That is so cool to me. And it creates a community. It creates a group of people who want to do better, who want to do great things for society, who want to learn as well. Like, I think for the people who attend, they are going to learn so many brilliant things from the people that we get to speak. And I'm really, 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 really looking forward to the curation aspect of TEDx. I've got an amazing speaking coach. Her name's Kate Cashman, and together, possibly with an advisory panel as well, we'll be thinking of the key ideas that are going to be important for Tasmanian community, but also important from a global perspective as well. Like, what do we want to showcase to the rest of the world? And what are the voices that we have down here that can, I guess, best present that? So the curation will be in two parts. The first will be, us thinking about the ideas and actively searching for people to speak on those. And then also opening up to Tasmania to say, hey, we've got spaces left. If you want to speak at this event, submit your idea through and let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
And I guess another reason why I thought it'd be a great idea to do the TEDx was because I was talking on Clubhouse, the audio app, the drop-in audio app, if you've heard of it. Hopefully too. It's a bit of fun. Someone said, getting a license is so hard. Getting a TEDx license is the most difficult thing in the world. Don't even try. I thought, are you kidding me?
Yep, challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. So that same day, I just grabbed my laptop out, sat down for about 40 minutes, put the application together, submit. 3 weeks later, I got an email saying, congratulations, here's your license.
Wow, there you go.
Lady, that wasn't hard. Come on.
Don't you love that? Don't you love it when people just put this like a roadblock in front of something? I think that you're very similar to me, Theo, listening to you speak, in that I don't see problems. I just see opportunities. Like, if someone says no, you can't, like, there's always a way, always. And I think that mindset is really valuable in life, and adopting that philosophy helps you get shit done that other people won't do because they're too scared. But anything's possible, man, and I'm so excited to hopefully participate in some way, shape, I can't even talk. You know what I'm trying to say with this TEDx thing, and I think it's a great idea. I love TEDx. I love the philosophy of it, and I think that I've only been here for 4 months, but there is so much amazing talent down here in Tassie. People down here are just awesome. It's just got such a great vibe, great community, and I think it's going to be a rip-snorting success, and I can't wait to attend. But if people want to find out more about you and get you to maybe come and speak at an event, or would like to inquire about the TEDx, what is the best place that they can look you up?
Wow. So there's a few channels people can find me, but let's start with probably the obvious one, which is my website. Check me out. www.theokap.com.au. You can contact me there. We can have a chat. You're very welcome to find me on LinkedIn, Theo Kapodistrias. That's my name down below. You can find me on Instagram, TheoCap88. And if you very specifically only want to look at TEDx stuff, head to our website and sign up to the mailing list. The website's being developed at the moment, so you'll just see a landing page for our mailing list right now, and that is tedxhobart.com.au.
Woohoo! Coming to you in 2022. It sounds like so in the future, but it's next year.
It's not that far. How crazy is that?
Well, Theo, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. You're a legend. Congratulations on an amazing career to date, and I can't wait to see what you do in the future and come down to old Hobart Town and go out for some Greek food, which is one of my favourites. So thank you once again. Have a great day. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll be sharing Theo's handles when we publish the episode in all the places.
Thank you.